is what democracy looks like. This is what America looks like. That's according to Occupy Wall Street's Twitter feed. The march comes at the end of a day of clashes with police and mass arrests and traffic jams in lower Manhattan as thousands of demonstrators staged a day of action. Well over 300 people have been arrested and smaller demonstrations are going on in cities across the country and indeed around the world. I want to go straight live to lower Manhattan where Amber Lyon from CNN is at Zuccotti Park. Amber, probably not as big a day as we were anticipating. What would you describe the mood tonight?
Well, tonight, Pierce, things have really calmed down. The marches have come full circle. They started out here early in the morning at Zuccotti Park, and now all the marchers have made their way back here after hitting up some subway stops. They also crossed the Brooklyn Bridge at times. There was a bit of tension, and a lot of it happening right out here in Zuccotti Park because of these barricades, Piers. We've noticed, we've been following the movement all across the country, and the protesters do not like to have barricades up in a lot of situations, especially out here, because they were evicted from the park on Tuesday, and those barricades are up to prevent them from bringing tents and tarps into this area. Now, nearly 300 protesters were arrested. We also have the NYPD telling us that 7 police officers were injured, 5 of them after some type of unknown liquid was thrown on them. They were then taken to the hospital, and the NYPD says that they are doing okay as of now, and several protesters were also reported injured, Piers.
Amber, thank you very much. I want to turn now to a man who undoubtedly will have a lot to say about what's happening at Wall Street. In fact, there's a lot to say about just about everything. Jesse Ventura is a former governor of Minnesota and the author of 63 documents the government doesn't want you to read and American conspiracies. And he joins me exclusively now. Jesse, how are you?
Hi, Piers. How are you doing tonight?
Good. I would imagine that although there are lots of angry people down at Occupy Wall Street, I would imagine you are even more angry. You normally are.
Well, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm very disappointed that many of the attitudes out there, because these are simply people exercising their First Amendment rights, and they state that no laws shall be passed to inhibit those rights. And it seems that they give local precedence to little local ordinances that seem to have more power than the First Amendment does, the right to gather and the right to protest your government in a peaceful manner.
I mean, they were chanting, you know, this is what democracy looks like, this is what America looks like. There's a clear divide going on now between the kind of people turning up to protest, I think on behalf of a lot of people in America who are just fed up with what is going on with the economy in particular, and the people who work in Wall Street and maybe the government. There's a huge disconnect, isn't there now, between the two?
Well, yeah, I think their original message was to send one that Wall Street owns our politicians, that it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, their allegiance is to Wall Street, the corporations and big business. And I think these are the people that are rising up to say, wait a minute, we're the people of America, and you should be working for us, not for corporations, because, you know, as you know, the loose definition of fascism is when corporations take over government. And I think here in the United States, we're right on the brink of that if we're not already there right now.
Well, you've been a patriot a long time, Jesse, and I've had a spirited debate with you before about this, but you've also been a senior politician. What has gone fundamentally wrong with America to cause what is going on now at Wall Street and other cities?
Well, the fact that the Democrats and Republicans, and both of them are equally guilty, they're responsible. They've been in charge for over 100 years, Pierce. They've created a system based upon bribery, that he who has the most money and pays them off in their campaign donations in the dirty elections. And I can say this because I didn't take $1 of corporate money. I didn't take $1 of political action or PAC money. And in fact, I actually made more money doing the job as governor than what I spent to get it. So there's nobody, I don't think, in 50 years that can make that statement. But I think that's what this is really all about, the buying and selling and the creation of a system by the Democrats and Republicans that is based completely on the concept of bribery.
I've seen interviews with some of the protesters today, and they're quite keen to stress that this is not an anti-capitalism argument per se. It is an anti-abuse of capitalism.
No, they're not opposed to capitalism. They're not trying to make us communist or socialist. They're just saying, stop at Wall Street. Stop buying the allegiance of our politicians. And hopefully these demonstrations will wake people up. Now, Piers, I've got another problem. As you know, I had a court case where I sued the TSA for my Fourth Amendment rights. And one thing I want to make clear tonight that people need to know, my case was thrown out of court. You can't even go to court questioning what goes on in an airport. And what people need to know is that when you go to any airport in America, you are not protected by the Constitution, and nor are you protected by the Bill of Rights, because it does not apply there, and it's going to spread further than airports. You're going to see it in bus terminals. You're going to see it going to all public transportation, even down to the highways now. It's starting in Tennessee. They're turning our country into East Berlin.
I mean, what you're talking about is more a Washington issue than Wall Street, and that brings me to the state of politics in America right now with the Republican race. What is your take of the various contenders? It's been going up and down like a yo-yo, the leaderboard. Who do you like? Who don't you like?
Well, there's only one person that I like at all, and that's Ron Paul. He's the only one that I agree with, that we need to audit the Federal Reserve, that we need to shut down these wars and bring our young men and women home immediately, shut down all these bases throughout the world, and let's start concentrating on jobs at home and job creation here. Can you imagine the money we could put forward to our infrastructure if we weren't involved in these two stupid wars that we've been in for 10 years?
I mean, Ron Paul is unlikely, the way the polls are looking, to win. Mitt Romney is the favoured candidate at the moment, and if not him, then Herman Cain or Newt Gingrich or someone like that. What do you think of the rest of the field?
Well, Newt Gingrich, it's interesting. I guess he got part of the payoff of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, huh? I heard they paid him millions of dollars as a consultant. What would he need to consult about? So he got part of the bailout money, and we're going to make him president, and all the rest of these cast of characters, I could care less about them. I won't vote for a Democrat or a Republican, and I urge people, that is the solution. The solution is to stop voting for these two political parties. They're both equally as bad. They've both sold out completely to Wall Street, and but that's difficult. It's like climbing Mount Everest, trying to get lemmings to not do what they're programmed to do in this country.
Now, what do you think of Obama's performance as president? And the reason I ask you, in fact, I want to play you a clip before I get your answer, because we had a very interesting debate last time about what would happen if the CIA or any American intelligence officials tracked down bin Laden or Gaddafi. Let me play you our discussion over this. Would you agree, if the CIA discovered tomorrow that they knew where Osama bin Laden was, that he should be assassinated?
No.
What about Gaddafi?
No.
You don't care?
No. I think they should be arrested and tried in a court of law. Since when does what are we, in the Wild West? We just go out, and if people we don't like, we kill them?
Isn't that what you did?
Everyone's willing to be killed?
Jesse, with respect,
yeah.
Isn't that exactly what Navy SEALs do all the time?
No, we're at war. War's different.
Well, we're at war with Osama bin Laden.
We are?
I mean, very prescient discussion there, Jesse, because since that interview a few months ago, obviously both bin Laden and Gaddafi were killed. And in bin Laden's case, by Navy SEALs, people that you used to work alongside. What was your reaction when you heard that the SEALs had taken out bin Laden?
Wait, I didn't work alongside them. I'm one of them. They're my brothers. I'm underwater demolition SEAL team, part of the teams, Class 58. No, I have all the respect in the world for my guys. I mean, they'll get the job done. There's no doubt about it. The job is custom made for SEAL Team 6. They're highly motivated. They're well trained. They will complete the mission when given the opportunity to do so. But what I question is this: were we told the truth? I mean, they lied about the murder of Pat Tillman. They lied about the rescue of Jessica Lynch. They lied about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They lied about ties to al-Qaeda with Saddam Hussein. None of those were true things. So it becomes credibility of my country. How do I know they're telling me the truth?
Well, let me ask you a direct question. Do you believe bin Laden's dead?
Yeah. I think he may have been dead for 10 years for all we know. I mean, he had a disease where most doctors said it was fatal within a couple years. How did this guy manage to live 8? You know, he was going around needing dialysis treatment when 9/11 happened. You know, and yet they tell us he survived that long? I don't know. I'm not privy to the intel anymore. I'm not currently in the military and haven't been for 40 years. But again, let me commend the Navy SEALs. They will get the job done. They are the best we have.
But I'm all for conspiracy theories, Jesse, but obviously it's the Navy SEALs themselves who said that they found bin Laden alive and killed him. You wouldn't question
well, how do you know that?
Navy SEAL.
Wait, how do you know that? None of us know the guys that were on this mission. None of us will. And who's to say that helicopter that killed those 18 guys from Team 6 didn't have all the guys on it that got bin Laden? How do we know? Because we will never know, because that's how secretive Team 6 is. Piers, you'll never know who the operators were that went on those missions. That's how secretive it is.
What was your view of Gaddafi being taken out in public in the way that he was?
What troubled me about it was our media here, that we had no problem showing Gaddafi's bullet-ridden body 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and yet we're banned from seeing our caskets come home draped in the flag from these two wars we're fighting. It's a classic case of propaganda. Show the enemy riddled and shot as much as you possibly can, but don't show the casualties of your own country and the results of war, which disturbs me, Piers, because I'm 60 years old now, and the United States of America has been at war for over half of my life. And we're the only country, maybe other than Israel, that can make that statement.
Jesse, finally, who are you going to vote for in the next election? Have you decided yet?
Well, I will vote absolutely for Ron Paul if he runs as an independent. You know, obviously, even though he's doing phenomenally well in straw polls in Iowa, California, that the media doesn't like to report on him, if he does not get the Republican nomination and he switches to, say, the Libertarian Party or if any other third party, Ron Paul will absolutely get my vote. But I will not vote for a Republican or Democrat, and I urge people, start that movement, because these are the two parties that have ruined our country. They've been in charge for hundreds of years, and they have no excuse for it. They are responsible.
Jesse Ventura, as always, delightfully provocative. Thank you very much.
Piers, thank you, and we'll do it again sometime. I appreciate it.
I look forward to it. Thank you again. Coming up, the